And we're live. All right. Awesome, guys. Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Southern Scrap Nation's podcast. I'm your host, as always, Daniel Jonas. And today we don't really have much news in the UFC world, but or MMA world, UFC, Bellator, the whole nine. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go over some stuff that's been going on. Luckily, I got this whole new setup. I've been using the Google Hangouts for YouTube Live, and that's going to allow me to screen share with you guys. So I don't just have to sit here and talk and then build a dramatic picture for you guys to imagine. So for those that are just listening on the podcast, you guys can reach us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Southern Scrap Nation, as well as finding the podcast on all those platforms, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes, as always. So let's get into it. Today in MMA news, not much has been going on. There's no fights coming up. So this week, at the end of the month, so next week, which just some housekeeping, I guess, stuff. I won't be doing a podcast next Wednesday live, but I will be doing a podcast. I'm going to Las Vegas for an IBJJF No Gi Open. It's the World's Masters, so my coach and a bunch of the guys from the team are going, and I'll be competing on Thursday. So I'm going to try to get a podcast in with those guys, but it'll just be recorded, and I'll try to get video of it. If not, once again, iTunes, you guys can download it there, Google Play, or wherever. So that's the only thing about the podcast next week. So it'll kind of be just like a special episode. I'll do an interview with my coach and a couple of the other guys. Anyway, that weekend is UFC Kansas City, and that is going to be with James Vick and Justin Gaethje. So I'll go over a little bit of that today, and with this new screen sharing, I can show you guys some videos, because I'm one of the few that, yes, has Fight Pass. So for your guys' viewing pleasure, I'll be able to, show you guys some stuff. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so recently in the news, I think the biggest thing that came out were the biggest thing in the news, I think, was the numbers for the UFC 226 or 227 came out, and they're better than everyone expected, according to this article from MMA Fighting. I think it was like 300,000 were pay-per-view buys right here. It's an estimated have sold something in the area of 300,000 pay-per-views. It's as successful as the UFC 223, and that was the Khabib versus Ally Quinta card. So when it comes to that, for me, I really did enjoy that card because of the main event and co-main event. The rest of them were all decisions. But it always comes to question, who's going to buy a card that has TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt? Obviously, Cody Garbrandt's a little bit bigger of a pay-per-view draw, or at least that's what you can tell a little bit from this. But his last pay-per-views have always been like co-main events on a bigger card, like the Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes. So obviously you're getting a lot of views for the Amanda Nunes or for the Ronda Rousey pay-per-views. With this one, you only had Demetrius Johnson and Henry Cejudo in the co-main event, which honestly, with Demetrius Johnson's previous, with previous pay-per-views, we can tell he's not as big of a draw. So personally, I think it's good. I don't know if hopefully TJ did some favors for that card because he's obviously the champ and he will continue to be the champ through this win. And hopefully they could have picked up some more fans, so that way, and especially Henry Cejudo calling out TJ after his win over Demetrius. Hopefully, if they build that super fight, which they are currently, and I'll pull up little pictures that they did. But actually, that article is from DJ Time. Sorry. Anyway, so with Henry Cejudo and TJ Dillashaw doing all this work, I guess, all this media work to hype up a fight that has yet to be even announced or even thought or even given credit to. Not credit to, but taken seriously. I think the UFC is they're testing their waters with it. I don't want to pull up a video. Anyway, I'm not a huge fan of that fight in particular, just because to me, Henry's the one that wants to go up, right? So if I'm TJ, I'm going to invite him to come up. Why not? And TJ said it. I'm going to run right through you. And I believe he does, not in the way that everyone, I think he just runs through him in the way of, if you get knocked out by Demetrius Johnson in your first fight, it's not necessarily that Demetrius Johnson doesn't have power, because he does. He knows where to place it. It's all the accuracy that he has, especially with the Joseph Benavidez fight the second time. When he hit him, it was straight on the chin. So obviously the accuracy is there rather than just having pure power. I mean, if he's, 125 pounds. So when you look at TJ versus Henry Cejudo, and then you watch TJ just knock Cody Garbrandt out in the second round, a notorious heavy-hitting fighter for 135. He knocks him out twice, and finishes him bad, and with all facets and all his, inventory of strikes. He has knees, elbows, that right hand, the left hook, the fucking kicks from all angles. And on top of that, his wrestling is collegiate level. Obviously, Henry Cejudo has a higher level of wrestling acumen than TJ Dillashaw does, but a takedown's a takedown, and it's harder to take down a bigger guy, especially an explosively bigger guy such as TJ. I don't think it does any favors for Henry. For TJ, doesn't really do any favors for him. You look at the roster of 135ers out there. Marlon Moraes is sitting there. I know Jimmy Rivera's coming off a loss, but he's getting right back on the horse against John Dodson. And that's a fight worth watching. And that could also come out, not necessarily a number one contender out of that fight, because I think they both have losses to Marlon. But, either way, these are guys that people should be looking at. And on top of that, Cruz is out there. Why would he deny the guy that he has one loss against, or not one loss against, but he's got a loss against, and it was a split decision, close split decision loss. I personally think, yeah, he beat John Dodson and Jimmy Rivera. Okay, so anyway, I think Cruz is the best option. However, I think he needs another fight, and I think he needs to do the whole Takeya Mitsugaki situation again. Comes back in, shows why he's number one against the top contender in Marlon Moraes. And I think Cruz's style fits perfectly for a guy like Marlon. Marlon's a forward pressure, Edson Barbosa style Muay Thai fighter. He's got takedown defense and stuff like that. But what favors Cruz is that his timing is very good. No discredit to Marlon Moraes. Probably Cruz's hardest fight, not compared to Cody and the first TJ fight. But I think in this fight, Marlon, he's got Henry. He's got one of the best coaches in his corner, Mark Henry. However, that style that he has, Cruz does very well against forward pressure fighters. He moves around them, picks shots, and not necessarily. I'm saying Cruz is gonna run through Marlon Moraes, but I say he wins a decision. You know what I mean? He's got that evasive style that if anything, he's going to score enough points. He's going to do what he has to do, and he's going to win against the guy. Come on, he just has to keep his hands up and not get caught, obviously. And then with that win, over that top contender, especially being out for as long as he was, that I think solidifies a good chance. And obviously, Dominic is the one quoted for saying there's no such thing as ring rust. But then there you go. That gets that ring rust off, if you want to give it that, and gives a chance for TJ to fight Henry if they really want to do that. There's some time in there that he can train, and then let the bantamweight division kind of sort itself out, which it is. It's currently finding its footing. They got enough top contenders. It's better than it's ever been. So, and then with flyweight, I think it's kind of fucked up that Henry's doing that. He just got the belt. Demetrius deserves a rematch. And if he doesn't, then if Ray Borg wins this next fight against Joseph Benavidez, or give him, he beats it. Yeah, if he gets his next fight against, if he wins his next fight against Joseph Benavidez, Ray Borg, good option. So yeah, I think there's a bunch of matchups that you can make down there that you don't have to immediately go to this super fight. And I think I'm more interested in the Cruz fight than anything. That's me, to be honest. In some news right now, it's not breaking news or anything like that. Don't worry, guys. I wish I was a breaking news source like ESPN or something, but no, just going off some latest news. Last night, Glover Teixeira is injured and out of UFC Sao Paulo, where he was supposed to fight Jimmy Manuwa. Jimmy Manuwa's mad. Damn, let's go over this card right now for real quick. Ketlin Vieira versus Tanya Evinger. That's a great fight. Caitlin can really showcase her skills in that card. Antonio Nogueira versus Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey just doing the work. Zapato Jr. versus Elias Theodoro. Zapato was originally supposed to fight Derek Brunson on that last card, and we did not get it. Henan Barral versus Andre Ewell. Oh, I'm going to look up Andre Ewell soon. Cowboy versus Neil Magny, the Brazilian cowboy. I think this is the Lesky guy. I think this guy. That's real fucking good. Hector Lombard making a comeback. Cool. What a card. What else we got going on? Rafael Cavalcante. Ooh. Rafael Cavalcante is the guy that gave Yoel Romero one of his only losses outside of Robert Whittaker. Fun fact. He knocked him out in Strikeforce. Kamaru Usman trying to get that Colby Covington fight. I'm a huge fan of that fight. I'm a bigger fan of the Tyron Woodley fight just because they hyped that fight up a little bit more. But to be fair, I'm a huge fan of any bad beef, and I think they have that. Let's see. Oh, there you go. It's a good fight right here. Then Ben Wynn. Ben Wynn versus Wilson Hayes. Ben Wynn needs that one of those losses or one of those wins. Oh, Derek Lewis on the update for UFC 229. I really want this fight. I think yeah, yeah, it's officially slated. Yeah, it's good. Hell yeah. Fuck yes. I don't know if it's a co-main event. It probably is going to be the co-main event. Derek Lewis getting back in there. They did some stem cells on his back, all USADA approved. So good on him. Hopefully that back gets all fixed up and we can see the real Black Beast return and get a good fight against Alexander Volkov. It's a tough fight. It's a fucking tough fight. The Andre Volkov fight is no joke. Andre Volkov is a vet of the sport, and not only a vet, but one of those guys that is good everywhere, regardless that he's got a very legitimate kickboxing record, right? He was a professional kickboxer. I think in K1. Luckily, we have the internet. I'm pretty sure K1. Sorry, guys. It's only out of producer. Who am I kidding? I'm the producer. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure he was a K1 kickboxer. No, M1. Yeah, okay. Well, M1 Global. Oh, no. He was an M1 Global fighter. Never a kickboxer. Never mind. My bad. M1 Global fighter. And then Bellator, and then following Bellator in UFC. So he's got wins over some real top-level guys. And he's also lost to some guys that would surprise you. But let's see. Rico Rodriguez has a win over Brett Rogers. Blagoy Ivanov, who just fought, he choked him out. He lost to Czech Congo. Very good. And then obviously after that, he had his UFC career. But yeah, he has a long, extensive career already, and he's a tough fight. He's definitely a tough fight for anybody in the heavyweight division. I mean, after his dismantlement of Verdum, I mean, what more can you say? And Black Beast isn't really coming off the best performance of his life, but we all know what kind of striker he is. That right hand puts down anybody. So it's just a matter of, and not to take away from Black Beast's striking. I mean, I follow his coach on Instagram. His coach is a really intelligent MMA coach for, as well as being a Muay Thai crew. He puts videos up and techniques up every day, and some of the stuff is golden. If he's learning from that guy, holy shit. Especially as being as big as he is and taking those same exact skills and applying it to the heavyweight division. I mean, he can do some work. And I don't know if people saw in his last fight for that switch kick, being an explosive former football player, being able to throw that kick like that, trouble. That's all I can say. So I think he just gets better and better, and especially with this stem cells in his back, hopefully it helps him out, and it really ups his game or gets his game back to where it needs to be. I would have to see how old he is, but I don't think he's that old. Maybe he is. I could be wrong. Totally wrong. No, he's only 33. At least for heavyweight, which is young. Volkov's 29. That's really young, especially with his career. 30 wins, 6 losses. Not bad. That Volkov guy. Both those guys, like, whoever wins that is definitely #1 contender heavyweight. next to Curtis Blades. Yeah, so Curtis Blades, he's trying to get that Stipe fight. I doubt that fight happens, but if it did happen, um, Curtis Blades, Stipe, and then you get whoever wins that versus that, and then that, right? When DC's doing his light heavyweight fight and then doing his Brock Lesnar fight, and then you got that whole situation. Oh, Tony Ferguson cleared for fighting. Actually, you know what? Let's see. Off of bjpen.com. bjpen.com. Let's see it. Let's see it. I'm gonna play it. Tony Ferguson cleared to fight his. Yeah, here you go. This is off of his Instagram, or his Instagram and his Twitter. Hopefully, it's not as choppy for you as I'm seeing it for you guys. But he's crazy. So when you guys start seeing what he's doing, remember Tony Ferguson just got cleared after LCL surgery about like 4 months ago, or not even, and it was bad scar, bad everything, freak accident, and here he is being El Kukui at his finest. I mean, what can you say? He's cleared. What fights are out there for him? Well, sadly, the Nate Diaz fight is taken by Dustin Poirier, which I always thought the Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz fight, that's a fucking huge fight. Stylistically, one is like the other 2.0. Tony is just like Nate, but he throws different stuff. He's got better wrestling, and he's got better striking. Nate's just really good at really good at the other two stuff. Better boxer than Tony, and I don't know, jiu-jitsu wise, I'd like to see that. Jiu-jitsu wise, I'd like to see that match. But anyway, I think that's a fucking great fight. They're both fighters to the end. I think you put that on for 5 rounds, main event, anything. I'd rather not a pay-per-view, but you put it 5 rounds for shits and gigs if you want to. But that would have to go 25 minutes. However, Nate Diaz has Dustin Poirier in front of him. Another fight that, once again, I would love to watch that go 25 minutes. Just because they can. Just because both those guys can go 25 minutes. And same thing with Nate. And, it would be consistently action-packed throughout the whole thing. So, who's out there for him? Well, Eddie Alvarez, you could put against Tony Ferguson. I know he's coming off that loss to Dustin Poirier. Eddie's in between contracts right now, so does Eddie want to sign up a contract and then immediately have to get fed to Tony Ferguson? There's always the option for doing the Kevin Lee rematch, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Personally, I know that it's not a good match for either of those guys because Kevin definitely got better, but then it's just going to be, or it could just be a repeat of the last fight. There's one of the two. And then if Kevin wins, well, once again, he's still in line. Whereas if Tony wins, he's right back to the top because he was the champ. He beat Kevin for that belt. So I don't think they do round 2 for that. Let's see. Other than that, Khabib, Conor, that's booked for 229. And then, Eddie's the only one. Or you could give Kevin Lee Eddie because it's just a matter of Kevin's in training camp. He's ready for October just in case one of them pulls out. which is a huge if and or but, there's a huge chance, guys. There's a huge, huge chance that either Khabib pulls out, because we've seen it before, and Conor gets Tony Ferguson late notice. Or there's a huge chance that Conor, or there's like a very, 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 very slim chance that Conor pulls out because he doesn't pull out from fights. But if he ever did, and the MMA gods ever wanted to, for all that they've taken, give back to the MMA community a fight that maybe not everyone would sign up for, but would not be disappointed in. And we could get the matchup of Tony versus Khabib late notice. Wouldn't be the match that we're looking for, but our sigh of relief isn't that big, right? It's like, oh, right? It's like one of those, like, at least for the hardcore fans. Maybe not so much for just like Conor guys, or so much for like the average fan who's just watching it, Conor's fighting, and that crazy Russian guy. But for those hardcore fans and their friends, let's say they're all at the bar. I'm going to set the scene. You're at the bar, right? You find out Conor's not fighting, and everyone's like, oh, well, I'm out of here. And they're about to walk away. And then on the screen, it's like breaking news. Tony stepping in, da-da-da-da-da. He's in the back right now getting warmed up. He was ready. And now you have Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. As the hardcore fans' friends are walking out the door, the average fans, he would put his hand on their chest and be like, whoa, 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 wait. It's not what you guys were looking for. But, you know, I would stick around. We've been waiting for this. So I'm a huge fan of it. But at the same time, I don't think anyone pulls out, but if anyone would, it would be Khabib. He's got to make 155 on the dot 155. However, it's big enough. It's a big enough fight. The financial incentive on the line isn't going to stop either of those guys from getting to the cage that night. There's too much financial incentive on this one. The more there is, typically, the less issues there are. Remember the Conor Floyd thing with the amount of money that was going on? No one got too crazy. Right? No dollies got thrown through any windows. No one, pushed a referee during that time. The financial incentive for Conor was very, very big. So he's not going to do anything to fuck it up. Now the table's flipped, and the financial incentive is very, very big for Khabib. And you ain't eating tiramisu at all. I haven't eaten it for 3 months, I bet. So, Tony, all he can do is wait for a call, see what's going on. Other than that, UFC 229 set to be the biggest pay-per-view of all time for the UFC. So we'll see. Maybe, or people just illegally stream the shit out of it, like they've been doing recently. Pay-per-views, like, I go to the bar personally because I've got a group of people that I watch it with. And it's entertaining. It's a night for me. I don't get that crazy. Like, that's my crazy night. But for me, on average, I know most of my friends, they just stream it, right? And it sucks. It's not great for the business, but they have to catch up. People aren't paying $70 for things. I might pay for the 229 one, not personally, but with my group of friends. I'll ship them. Or I'll get a pizza or something for them. Anyway, the 229 fight, right? So most people will probably pay for that because you're going to get pay-per-view buys for that because of how popular it is and because you're going to chip it in for Conor McGregor. But on average, with that Demetrius Johnson and the TJ, going back to that, yeah, 300,000. That's great, right? It's a great number, bigger than we expected. But on average, it shouldn't be 300,000 for pay-per-view. On average, it should be, I don't know, 800,000, right? That's what you want for pay-per-view. If you turn that TJ and Cody fight into a big Fox one, and then you put it on for free, I mean, now you're talking about 3 million views or whatever, something more ridiculous than 300,000 pay-per-view buys. Plus, the venue was sold out. Like, you're not missing. You just would have more viewers, right? And that's all you want. Plus, you got ad times and stuff that you can put in there. I don't know. I personally think that this pay-per-view thing is just dated. Just old and dated. The media goes on, and the MMA media goes on and tries to figure out what's next and stuff. Obviously, the ESPN deal is there's a lot of things that we just can't. Fighters unions or these things that, yes, we want so badly, but it's just not going to happen now. It'll eventually happen. It's starting to happen. It takes time. Can't force things. And this is one of them. I mean, the UFC is just going to eventually have to see that it, whoever's in charge, and excuse me, they're going to. I mean, they suffered from these deals already. I mean, for God's sakes, they're on ESPN Plus. They signed a deal with ESPN Plus. Cool. ESPN gets to cover more of the news. I get it. It's a good. What's the word for it? It was a good deal, I guess, in the sense that it's good exposure. It's better name. It's better name recognition. FS1 have to buy a certain cable package for that. Every TV has ESPN. So when it comes to news on sports, if ESPN's covering it, more people watching it. Fair. Got it. As it comes to the content, however, you still have ESPN Plus that you have to pay for, right? Which I pay for Netflix monthly, but I get movies and TV shows. ESPN Plus is I'm paying for what monthly? Fights that I would have just paid for, or I would have just got on regular cable. But I get with my apartment. I get cable with my apartment. I don't like it. I wish I could just opt out of it, or I could go. There's free options on being able to watch the fights before. Now I have to buy another streaming service that I pay monthly, yearly, whatever the contract's going to be. And then on top of that, I have to pay for the pay-per-views again. They're keeping the pay-per-view thing. They want to milk that cow for all it's worth. That cow is dying on a stick, and it's like a peon at this point for fucking milk. They're beating its udders until there's every last. We're going to get all the pay-per-view buys, all of them, just every time. Pay-per-view buys all day. Just fucking leave it. Leave the pay-per-views. Just go on to something else. I don't know what else, but go on to something else. If anything, ESPN Plus, you pay for that. You put the fights on ESPN, ESPN2, whatever. One of them. And then ESPN Plus, that's where you get the pay-per-view, right? You put the pay-per-views on Fight Pass. Fucking a lot more people are going to be buying Fight Pass, right? Or you figure it out. You figure out a way of disguising a pay-per-view to something else that you charge people money for. There you go. Right? You have to get a yearly subscription on somebody for something that's cheaper than upfront cost of $60 at one time, then you do it. But then you gouge them for it later, just like everyone's doing all the time. All right. How much else going on? Fight announcements. Let's see. I'm just gonna go and see if there's anything. That's been crazy. Oh, Sean O'Malley's coming back. Jose Quinones on the UFC 229 card. TJ Dillashaw trying to get that Gervonta Davis fight. Not going to happen. I'd like to see it happen in MMA because that'd be funny. But Benson Henderson in Bellator returns against Saad Awad. Saad Awad is actually very good. Is that a welterweight fight? Ooh. Pretty sure it's a welterweight fight. No. Oh, that's right. Henderson just beat Roger Huerta. Well, it's going to be on the Fedor fight. It's going to be on the Fedor card. This is not telling me if it is a. Maybe it's a lightweight fight. Maybe it's a lightweight fight. Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out. All right. I think that's it for news-wise. Coming up next, when it comes to cards, I guess I'll give him some look. Oh, Dylan Dennis. Yeah, I want to talk about this. Dylan Dennis calling out Kevin Lee. For a grappling contest. That shit. Fuck yeah, $100,000. Put it on the line. I want to see it. Put it on a Kasai. Put it on a fucking pro jiu-jitsu tournament. Put it on something, bro. I can't believe I'm missing. Put it on Flow Grappling. Put it on a Sug. I don't know. Put it on something, bro. I want to see that. I want to see that now. If anything, $100,000 on the line. You create your own grappling tournament. What else? That's about it. This is so dumb. He's not underrated at all. Whoa. Okay. Here we go. UFC flyweight Andrew Lee allegedly assaulted husband. Hey, the guy, if you guys don't remember, was the guy that had like the Nazi tattoos, like this thing right here, the swastika right here, swastika, that he's not giving up. All right. Aaron and Lee were involved in domestic violence. Very, very white trash. Aaron's offenses are the false imprisonment. Charges he fled the scene. I'm not good. Oh wow! Holy crap! Oh. Holy shit! It's intense. Wow, that's a lot to read. All right, never mind. I'm gonna read that later. Holy shit, that's intense. Someone about burning fucking cigarettes. Nothing against. She puts in, like, she's a good fighter and everything. Just that whole personal life. Very white trash. It's very movie-esque, stereotypical white trash. Like, you ain't doing yourself any favors. Like, you guys are not doing yourselves publicly wise any favors. But she's fun to watch in the cage. I think she has a fight coming up too. Michelle Watterson, Felice Herring, also set to fight. All right. Let's take a look at this Kansas City card right now, just so. UFC Fight night. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll call it a day. And I'm gonna go train. All right, here we go. So in the main event, you have Justin Gaethje versus James Vick. I'll go ahead and give you my picks, guys. Why not? Why not? Special edition. We'll give you some picks for these fights. Justin Gaethje versus James Vick. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to James Vick, man. It's hard not to bet against a guy that is fucking 6 foot something and fights at 155 pounds. Also, he uses his range really well. Justin Gaethje, unless he comes in with a different game plan, he can get picked apart all night. Front kicks to the face, he can go to the side, he can go uppercuts, knees to the body, everything. I think it's a dangerous fight for Justin Gaethje. I guess you can try to kick the legs out from James Vick and put that forward pressure on him, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard fight for him to win, unless he goes back to his wrestling, which, I don't know if he does that. There's going to be fireworks in the fight. Former Justin Gaethje opponent Michael Johnson against Andre Fili. I think this is a good fight for Michael Johnson, man. He's got the power in this fight. Andre Fili isn't going to really wrestle him. I think it's a stand-up fight. Man, it's going to be too great. It's a good fight to watch, man. All these people are like fighters. You know what I mean? They're going to bring it. They're going to stand up. They're going to sprawl him. Sprawl? I think a lot of these guys are going to sprawl him, though. Yeah. So Michael Johnson, yeah, I think it's a great fight for him against Andre Fili, especially going down to featherweight, having that power differential, different, whatever. You guys know what I mean. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Michael Johnson by knockout. James Vick by TKO. Like third, fourth round, third round. Then you got the women's strawweight, Courtney Casey versus Angela Hill. I like Angela Hill in this fight. She went to Alliance MMA and really not reinvented herself, but got some upgrades, and she's been doing really, really well. Huge fan. Let's see her last win. Yeah, she beat that Marina Moroz chick. Yeah. So let's see. Courtney Casey is coming off of a loss to Michelle West. Yep, I like Angela Hill in this fight. And then we got Jake Ellenberger versus Brian Barberina. So Jake Ellenberger changed camps to training, to the training lab where TJ Dillashaw is, and he's been working with Dwayne Ludwig. Hopefully that helps him out, man. Brian Barberina is a monster on the ground. He's a grinder. But, it's Jake Ellenberger's. It's up to him to stop the takedowns and use his strength. Brian Barberina knocked out Joe Proctor in his last fight. So, yeah, it's up to Jake Ellenberger to not let this young cat take him. I'm going to go with Brian Barberina on this fight. And then John Moraga versus Div Figueiredo. 14-0. Wow. The knockout of Joseph Morales. All right. I see you. All right. So that is John Moraga's next fight. John Moraga's on the comeback. Yeah, he beat Wilson Hayes in his last fight. He knocked out that cat. Yeah. No. And then he lost to Sergio Pettis before. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this. Did Vesson? You get out. Yeah. I'm gonna go with this 14-0 cat from Brazil. That's my personal pick. I don't know if it's the underdog pick, but. And then you got Eric Anders versus Tim Williams. Eric Anders coming off of a win. Oh, no, a decision loss to Lyoto Machida. That was a shame. He did really well in that fight. And then you got Tim Williams. Wow, go from the main event to the bottom of it. I'm going to, I'm going to go with Eric Anders. Give it to that cat. Eric Anders. Who else we got on this card? James Krause is fighting. Oh, shit. Warley Alvin. Good fight. Mickey Gall's on the card. Oh, yeah, man. It's a good card. Good card. I'm going to try to watch it. I'm going to try to watch it when I'm in Vegas, or at least like catch glimpses of it. But it should be a good card, man. Good card. Going to put up some artwork for you guys so you guys have something else to stare at instead of my mug. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I like this new live thing. I like the screen sharing. Hopefully, I'll be able to do more segments. Maybe I'll try something else out where we do. I do like fight tape breakdown and stuff like that, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Daniel Jonas 94. You can follow the the podcast itself, Southern Scrap Nation, at southernscrapnation.com. We got our merch in stock. Anything you need, screen, our cell phone cases, shirts, sweatshirts, all the fun stuff. We're going to add more to the inventory, switch stuff up, have promo codes coming for you. Also, sign up for Enter to Win, a chance to get all of our merch in a little goodie bag. So, yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, at Southern Scrap Nation on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes and Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Stay safe. I'm gonna take a plane to Vegas, and I'll see you guys when I get back. All right, guys. Stay safe and see you later.